Welcome back to Backward Point Podcast, a podcast where I, Nazar Sayed, the host and slash co-host of this podcast, will try my best not to be on camera and audio and say, I told you so to the Pakistan public, even though I will say, I told you so to the Pakistani cricket fans. With me as always is my brother and co-host Bashar Sayed, who is also one of the first and foremost people that will come out and say, hey guys, I told you so. With this squad, with this team, Pakistan versus New Zealand first Tri-Series ODI review is here. The news is that Pakistan has lost. Pakistan has conceded 330 in this brand new Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore, where 34,000 people were seated. It was a momentous day, and yet it was a dark day for Pakistan cricket again when Pakistan was unable to chase the 330 that they had conceded. With me, again, as always, Bashar Sayed. Bashar, I mean, is there anything new to add to the conversation? Everything that had to be said was said. Everything that we predicted happened accordingly. And now things look bleak and bleaker. The self-destruct button is pressed and in full form. And now we're here at this point where Babar Azam scores 10 runs in 28 balls and Pakistan loses by 72 runs.
At the end of the last episode, we made an announcement that Backward Point is traveling to Dubai to watch the iconic Pakistan versus India match in the Champions Trophy. After this recent squad selection and this first ODI against New Zealand, I'm asking you, can we refund our tickets?
No, we have not committed ourselves to either go out there in Dubai at the night of the 23rd. Either we're going to be celebrating or we're going to be lamenting. But whatever the case may be, we're going to be doing it with Pakistan cricket fans and Backward Point fans. So the commitment is there, regardless of score.
I might just have two jerseys on. Like if Pakistan wins, I'll celebrate with the Pakistanis. If India wins, I'll be like, yo, my ancestors, we got this, guys.
You're going to be wearing none of those jerseys because what you actually will be wearing is Backward Point merchandise. Because Backward Point merch is on its way. In the next 7 to 8 days, we will be announcing a pre-order link. And there's lots of fun stuff going on there. Before we can start actually going deeper into this, before we mention anybody else, I do have to quickly do some house cleaning and housekeeping. We have announced a new Patreon tier on Patreon. There is 2 tiers now. There used to be 3. We've taken 1 tier out. If you guys are still part of that old tier, it's fine. You guys will be still honored. The second tier has now been moved from $4.99 to $5.99, which is not a big jump for most people. So you guys can join that now. And there is a new tier, which I should even be mentioning this because it's nearly sold out. This tier is called the producer tier. And the producer tier is higher price value, but what it does is directly supports the podcast. There's only 3 spots for the producer tier, and 2 of them already taken. Shout outs to A Masood34 from Patreon, and shout outs to Taimur Abani from Patreon. Long life Patreon fam, long life Patreon members. They have upgraded themselves as producers of the podcast. They're officially producers of Backward Point. We appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. And I believe, Bashar, when it comes to producers, you have a message for the fans.
Patreon fans, as we like to say since day one, is that you guys help keep the lights on. And really appreciate all the patrons coming in because you guys help us enable what we do on a day-to-day basis. And another patron of ours is Yashi Sports.
Yashi Sports.
They're Canada's home of cricket. And when we talk about merch, they're actually helping us
create the merch,
build and distribute our merch, which is dropping very, very soon. So keep an eye on that. But aside from merch, Yashi Sports has a vast offering of equipment, of expert advice. If you go to yashisports.com, make your purchase and use the exclusive code BP10 for 10% off your next purchase. I cannot emphasize how important it is to support Backward Point and support Yashi Sports. Those two go hand in hand.
Also, for the Patreon members, we also have moved all of our Patreon members to a WhatsApp group chat. This has been a long time coming. People have mentioned how difficult it might be in Patreon to have instant messaging. Not a lot of people use the Discord servers. So we've moved almost all of our Patreon members to a community WhatsApp chat that has you and me in it. And right now, 13 to 14 other Patreon members, more incoming as they see the link and add themselves in. That's also something that's amazing. We're starting to introduce voice notes and video clips in our Q&A sections. There is also a post-Champions Trophy podcast where we take your hot takes, and your hot takes will also be included in voice note and video clips fashion. Again, if you're a Patreon member, you have direct access to us to send those voice notes and voice clips. So lots of very exciting things, lots of revamping happening. What I wish happened with our Patreon and with just the Backward Point channel itself is what I wish happened with Pakistan. A lot of revamping, a lot of reintroductions, and just changing the game, reintroducing themselves to the game of cricket. But it feels like Pakistan has fallen to the habits of old, to the rituals of old, conceding 330 and not being able to chase it at all. Where do you want to start with this debacle, Bashar? I think we should start with the way the match started with Pakistan's bowling first. It seemed like Pakistan had New Zealand pretty much down and dusted in the first 25 overs. That's actually pretty good bowling from Pakistan in there. But when you concede 130 in the last 12 overs, I think at one point, Shaheen conceded 25 in 1 over. If that's the case, if that's what happens to your strike bowlers and your prime bowlers, how are we going to defend anything?
I was quite shocked that Mitch Santner won the toss and he batted first. I thought that this time of the year, dew factor might come into place, but it turns out there's not a lot of dew happening overnight in this region. And in addition to this, actually a very key point is that one of our patrons in Dubai said that there's also not a lot of dew happening in Dubai. So I don't think the chasing element will come into place where we say that there's a dew factor. So there's going to be, it's going to be easier to chase in the second innings. So I'm not sure if we're going to see that. Plus, a lot of these game times have been shifted quite earlier, like a 1 p.m. start time. So it doesn't go too deep into the night. And that's exactly what Mitch Santner said at the toss, that he said that we practiced here yesterday and there wasn't a lot of dew when you're practicing at night. So they won the toss, Shaheen got a wicket early up, and Williamson came in, did his consolidation. And like you said, we had them under control. Rauf was bowling well, Naseem was bowling decently.
Rauf was bowling really, really well.
Abrar was economical. But I think there are a lot of gaping holes in this Pakistan bowling attack. And it starts off with Pakistan's fifth bowling option. We don't have a reliable fifth bowling option. We're relying on Salman Ali Agha and Khuzdil Shah to bowl 10 overs, both of them who are part-timers. And when you're playing against top quality international teams, they will target those bowlers. They will take them to the cleaners. And it looked like it when you see Khuzdil bowling, when you saw Salman Ali Agha bowling, there were just way too many bad balls. Pakistan, what they're missing, and we talked about this when they announced the squad, is a reliable left arm spin bowling option who can bat at number 7. Someone like an Arfat Minhas, if they had groomed him earlier. Sorry to use groom again. Or Mohammad Nawaz, if you thought that Arfat Minhas was not ready. Khuzdil Shah was brought in because of his BPL performances, because he was in #hot form. But I don't think he solves our problem of the fifth bowling option. And it's just sad to me that Pakistan is still at the same place as they were a few years back, where one player gets injured and just your whole combination is torn apart. Pakistan loses Saim Ayub, an opener, plus somebody who bowls some handy overs. And here we are shuffling the entire team 1 to 11 to accommodate for Saim Ayub's loss.
I don't want to look ahead, but I remember you told me that if Pakistan versus India in Dubai, if Pakistan do win the toss, they should chase. And I told you what happens if it's 330 on the board. And you're like, oh, 330 is not going to go on the board. 330 in Lahore is also not something that's, conventional. 280, 300 is something where we usually land. Anything over 300 is like an insane run.
But Pakistan chased 349 on this same ground against Australia.
But that's also a Pakistan that had it very much informed Babar Azam, very much informed Imam al-Haq, a pretty stable 11, and a B-strong Australian side. So, there's a lot of caveats to that chase. I'm not taking anything away from it. It's a wonderful chase. I was there for every minute of that. But there are some caveats. Let me run down some of the bowling performances for you so we can assess them correctly. Shaheen goes 10 overs, 88 for 3 wickets.
Second most expensive spell in his entire career. The first one was 90 runs he conceded against New Zealand at the ODI World Cup.
Naseem shot 10 overs, 70, no wickets. Abrar Ahmed, 10 overs, 41, 2 wickets. Respectful, and respectable. Highest of 6.2 overs, 23 runs, 1 wicket. We'll come to that 0.2 in a second. Khuzdil, 9 overs, 66. Economy of 7.33. And Salman Ali Agha, 4.4 overs, 31 runs, economy of 6.64, no wickets for each of them. I want to touch upon Naseem Shah a little bit, then we'll go to everybody else. Naseem Shah, 10 overs, 70 for none. I mean, I was quite offended when, again, I talked to you about this privately as well in Shan. Ahmed, who asked me to be on an episode of his recently, and he told me that Naseem Shah would probably be the third bowler to sit out if Pakistan wanted to play 2 full-time spinners. And I was like, wait. Why Naseem Shah? Naseem is the future. Naseem is this, that, and the other. And he told me, he's like, yo, maybe you have the Islamabad United goggles on and you're looking at through the lens of red, but he hasn't really been himself since his injury and since his comeback. And now I look at it macroscopically and I look at Naseem's runs in the past few games and I look at this specific game at home in Lahore. He's from Lahore. I mean, he's not from Lahore, but he lives in Lahore. He goes to the NCA. He's local basically, and he goes for 70 against this attack. I mean, it's tough to defend any of that, but it's definitely an eye opener for me that if there was a third bowler to sit down pacer wise, it's going to be Naseem Shah because he is the third best in Pakistan team right now.
I think Naseem bowled well in his opening spell. There was a lot of
opening spell for both of them were really good. The prime bowlers.
So a lot of inside edge forwards, a lot of outside edge forwards that went. So Naseem somehow finds himself to be one of the most unluckiest bowlers, and we keep saying this on and on, but I think he bowls way too many deliveries that are on a good length, which is a good thing, but sometimes it can get too predictable. And we saw that when he came back for his second spell against Daryl Mitchell, he lined him up. He knew exactly he's going to bowl a good length ball, top of off stump. Daryl Mitchell waited for it, swung him over mid-on for a boundary. So sometimes I feel like Naseem gets too predictable. I feel like sometimes he's also not bowling too many deliveries on the wickets. It's just a lot of balls going away. And because his ball swings and seams a lot more than usual, he can lose control. He can bowl a lot of deliveries that the batsman plays and misses. Overall, I think the Pakistan bowlers, I'm not talking about Naseem specifically, we need to find a way to nail our Yorkers, to have better variations, and to bowl according to our field, because power play 3 is from overs 40 to 50, where you have 5 fielders outside. So that's enough protection. And if you're bowling according to your field, you should be able to bowl economically. But Glenn Phillips was on mission. I remember he reverse lapped Shaheen Afridi for a 6. And then the next over, he hit him for a 4, the same shot. So that just takes a lot of guts to do that. And he was reading a lot of our variations pretty well. Like I remember in the last over, Shaheen bowled a back of the hand slower ball, which he picked, smashed it for 6. And a lot of the 6s in this match went inside the crowd. So I was happy to see these renovations coming into play.
Do you think Glenn Phillips is a better batsman than Shaheen Shah Afridi as a bowler?
That's a tough question. I think matchup-wise, it depends. I can't give you a definite answer.
I'm just saying this because Shaheen Shah Afridi is Pakistan's prime fast bowler. Prime. Like, this is the guy. And if he gets whipped like that, then what does this say about Naseem and Haris?
I think Naseem's overall ODI numbers are still very good.
I just pulled them up, so I just wanted to share this with you. There is a little bit of a discrepancy here, and I'll tell you what is worrying me. So 2023, he takes 22 wickets at an average of 19 runs, which is really good. And then in 2024, that average goes from 19 to 29. And he only takes 10 wickets in 2024. 2025 has started with 70 runs off the trot, no wickets, and it looks like a long, long season for him. The trajectory of his bowling is worrisome to me. I think something that Shayan says and I'll stuck into my head. Is he your prime third bowler, or is he the bowler that goes to the wayside? Because he has not played a back-to-back test match in over 2 years. Like, Pakistan did not trust him for back-to-back test matches. The test matches he has played, his average in 2024 in test matches was, I think, 44. Really bad average there. And his best was 3 for 91. And that just shows me that Naseem is not in the same rhythm, same par as he was pre-injury, which has been the case for a lot of prime bowlers, except for Bumrah, I guess. But there's something's got to give, right? Clearly, he's put on some weight and he looks a little bit out of form. And, it's not in basketball, you have Luka Doncic, who put on a little bit of weight, and Dallas Mavericks were like, bye. And they traded him to the Lakers. We don't have that luxury, but we do have something, which is the drop factor, that you could easily get dropped. Naseem Shah, I guess, gets dropped in this 11 for a Sufyan Muqeem, for Arafat Minas, for insert spinner here. Because one thing that the New Zealanders did really well was that they seemed like the hosts and we seemed like the touring side, where they played their spinners. The spinners bowled extremely well. Santner and Bracewell, and even I think Glenn Phillips rolled his arm around. All three of them had Pakistan in a chokehold. The reason Pakistan were unable to chase this and were 72 runs behind was because they didn't score in the top in the middle.
I think you're mixing Naseem's formats. So firstly, 29 bowling average is pretty good in ODIs.
Yeah, but for jump
Secondly,
from 19 to
you're
29,
saying that he's not playing back-to-back test matches. This was Pakistan's home test season. And you can play Naseem Shah in a pitch that's turning from ball one.
okay, what about South Africa then?
South Africa played one test match and he had a back spasm. So he wasn't able to play the second test match.
Did he play the second? He didn't play back to back, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it's not because...
I'm just saying, there's something going on.
That's not because he was bad or he's not good enough, but it's because of the conditions were not being conducive for him. And I think his ODI numbers were pretty good. He had a pretty good hand to play in Pakistan's series win in Australia and South Africa. So I still think he's a good wide ball bowler.
Is he going to be effective in Pakistan pitches?
One game being hit for 70 does not make him a bad bowler.
Is he going to be effective in Pakistani pitches?
Well, he has to be. Because
what do you mean he has to? He's not going to be.
We don't have a backup bowler for Naseem Shah right now.
We don't need one.
Why?
We might need a spinner instead. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, we don't have a spinner because we only have one spinner in this squad.
So let's go to the bottom of this. This squad that was chosen, I think you and I commented on this when we were doing the review of the squad. This will not be the squad that goes in to the Champions Trophy. I don't think Khurshid makes it to the Champions Trophy. I don't even think Khurshid makes it to the second game, to be very honest. I don't think Tayyip Tahir makes it to the Champions Trophy.
Who comes in?
I don't think Usman Khan makes it to the Champions Trophy.
Who comes in?
I'm hearing rumors. I'm hearing a lot of stuff to the grapevines. I'm hearing a Sufyan Muqim agenda going on.
How does Sufyan Muqim replacing Khurshid Shah solve this? Because Sufyan Muqim is
a genuine spinner.
And Khurshid Shah is a batsman plus spinner. So
Khurshid Shah will be replaced by Fahim Ashraf. And Sufyan Muqim will be replaced by Naseem Shah. As I've already established the fact that Naseem might not be as useful in these Pakistani pitches as one would assume. That's going to be the change. Also, Usman Khan is getting out. Tayyip Tahir is getting out. That's
says who?
Rumors, grapevines, no authentication. This might actually just fall flat from his face, and this might be the 15th that's going into the Champions Trophy. But the likelihood of that happening, if Pakistan does not play the final of this Tri-Series that they're hosting, people are getting axed.
Well, they're not playing the final. I'll tell you that for a fact because their run rate is bad because they lost by 70 odd runs.
Yeah, but like if South Africa lose from New Zealand and Pakistan beat South Africa, then there's a chance.
There is some chance.
But we're already at that point where we're doing the Pakistani math.
PCT math.
PCT math is already occurring. It's been one game. This is going to be a really, really tough few weeks for me, man.
I think Glenn Phillips had his century had two phases. The first phase is when he scored 40 balls, 28 runs. Next phase when he scored 43 balls, 78 runs. Just took all of Pakistan's bowlers to the cleaners. The other difference, and then we just talked about this in detail, is New Zealand spinners outbowling Pakistan spinners in Pakistani conditions. Something you can't think of.
It's absolutely shocking. Like I said before, Pakistan looked like the touring side. Like they were trying to figure stuff out.
With two matches, literally like one match if they play against South Africa, and hypothetically if they play the finals, they're 2 matches away from their opening game against New Zealand. And who is our second spinner? Because we cannot really be relying on Khurshid Shah and Salman Ali Agha to be our 5th bowling option.
That's what I'm saying. Like there has to be changes made. Like we've said this before, Bashar, that this 15, it's tough to make an 11 out of this. It's tough. And it's because of the overcorrection that the Pakistan Chief Selection Committee has done in order to fill the void of Saim Ayub. Saim is fine, guys, by the way. Saim is hanging out with Hani Amir. He's chilling. He's living the dream. He's good. But what the gaping hole he's left in the Pakistan side? Who's going to fill that?
The other issue is that Haris Rauf is not fully fit right now.
Let's talk about it.
He walked off the field with pain in his ankle, and apparently that was done out of precaution. And the latest PCB media release says that his injury is not serious and he is expected to be fully recovered for the ICC Champions Trophy, which commences in Karachi on 19 February. So,
but is he good for the next game, South Africa?
He's not playing the next game. So as a precautionary measure, he will not be available for selection against South Africa on 12 February. So I guess
Hassan comes in.
If Pakistan hypothetically makes the finals, then he might come in. But I would still say, guys, Haris Rauf is the fastest bowler in Pakistan right now. We need him in the white ball format. Even if we make the finals, rest him just out of precaution. There's a couple of scenarios that can happen with who replaces him. Pakistan can go with either Fahim Ashraf coming in, and they can just add some more batting depth. You know, I am obsessed with batting depth. Or a like-for-like replacement of Hastain coming in for Haris Rauf as our third seamer. So I'm not sure exactly what route Pakistan will take. Will they try different combinations? Will they just tweak a few things here and there? Because if this is our final combination for Champions Trophy, I don't like it. I don't like the fact that we don't have a left-hander in the middle order. I think one of Kamar Ghulam or Tayyip Tahir needs to go and Saud Shakil needs to come in. Again, Saud was not part of our
what was your
plans.
take on Saud not playing this game?
I thought it was a no-brainer to play Saud at 3 or play him at 5. Either or, he needs to go in because again, when you have spinners like Mitch Satner bowling or Rachin Ravindra, the way that Fakhar Zaman was smashed Mitchell Satner towards mid wicket, hitting him with the spin, that is absolutely key to have against a left arm spinner, right arm leg spinner matchup. That's why I feel like Saud Shakil is very important. Also, Karachi Janda, but he's an incredible player of spin. And in these conditions, against India, against New Zealand, against Bangladesh, in these Asian conditions, he will be a key batsman for Pakistan in the middle order, in the middle overs.
Can I give you a name?
Sure.
Have you heard the name Shan Masood?
Sure.
Have you heard the name Shan Masood in ODIs?
I hear you.
Thoughts?
Let's talk about the next part, and we'll talk about the Shan Masood.
Just skipping this guy's anti-Shan Masood to the brim. He doesn't want to even hear his name on the podcast.
So the next part I want to talk about is
this guy's ignoring me. Okay, go ahead. It's your podcast, buddy.
So Saim Ayub gets injured, and Pakistan's solution to replace Saim Ayub is firstly to
replace everybody.
Mess up your premier batsman's batting position.
Wait, sorry.
Shift
wait. Are we? We're done from Pakistan's bowling.
Yeah. Well,
that's all you had to say about it.
Yeah.
130 in the last 12 overs, and you're going to graze over everything else.
I think 330 on this pitch was chaseable.
You don't think
Pakistan bowled exceptionally well in the first 30 overs?
Yeah, but what happened to the last 30 overs?
It happens.
No. Pakistan. The one thing that we all fear, and this is something that was scary for us as going into this tournament / going into the Champions Trophy, is that what the hell is going to happen to Pakistan between 15 and 40 overs? And Pakistan, for the most part, had that covered. Nobody thought that Pakistan was going to get whipped for 120 in the last 13.
Listen, Haris Rauf was injured. Hypothetically, if he was fit, we would have probably not been smashed for 120. It could have been 150. No, on a serious note, it could have been a different scenario if Haris Rauf
280
was
probably, you're thinking?
Yeah, that means that Salman Ali Agha bowled less overs. Haris Rauf, according to the figures, was one of our best bowlers so far. And if he comes back, bowls his change-ups, bowls his Yorkers, bowls with high pace, it could have been a different story.
And it's also like a butterfly effect with the other bowlers as well.
Correct.
They don't get whipped as much.
Correct. But I just want to say that the Kiwi batsmen batted really well. Like they were playing with the reverse swing. Like some of the shots that Michael Bracewell had were amazing. And I'm sure a lot of the PSL teams who bought New Zealand players were very happy to see that. Daryl Mitchell scoring run, Mitchell Satner, Michael Bracewell was taking wickets and scoring runs.
Karachi Kings like, what's our boy?
Williamson is playing an anchor
55 off 88? Now give me more of that. Give me some more of that.
Yeah, that's all I have to tell about Pakistan's bowling. And then coming into Pakistan's batting, Saim Ayub gets injured. And our solution for that is let's mess up our main batsman, our premier batsman's batting position from number 3 and push him as an opener. We're talking about Babar Azam here. Now, there are only 2 batsmen in the history of ODI cricket who have an average of 60 plus and ODIs batting at number 3. Virat Kohli and Babar Azam. And Pakistan's solution is, why is that a stat? We need to screw up that stat. Let's change our main batsman's batting position, get him to open, get him some more deliveries. And I just don't think that's the right solution. And then Kamar Ghulam is suddenly now your best batsman because he's batting at number 4 in test matches and he is batting at number 3 in ODIs. So is Kamar Ghulam the new king?
Man, I hear you. I hear your concerns. And all I have to say to that is that we were watching the Netflix documentary. We actually streamed it, all 2 hours of it. You guys can check it out on our Patreon, on our YouTube channel. It's there, all 2 hours of it. You can sync it up, watch it with us. But we were watching it together, Bashar. And one thing we noticed is that Sachin Tendulkar batted at 4 in that Pakistan India series, batted at 3, and opened in that series. He got out of Shabir Ahmed, by the way. But my point is to say that when the team needs you, when it's required, your best batsman can be shuffled. If Sachin can bat at open with Sehwag and bat at 4 in the same series, then why can't Babar Azam open?
I have a question for you.
Okay.
If Shubman Gill suddenly scores 3 ducks, or if he gets injured, will India replace Shubman Gill with Jaiswal, or will they be like, you know what? Let's actually get Virat Kohli to open with Rohit Sharma?
I see what you're trying to say here, but Virat Kohli did open with Rohit Sharma in the T20 World Cup.
Different format. Different format.
Same scenario.
Babar Azam also
Same
opens in T20s.
scenario. Same scenario.
How is it the same thing?
It's the need of the hour. It's the need of the team.
In ODIs, if Shubman Gill scores 3 ducks or he gets injured, will India push Virat Kohli, their best batsman at number 3, probably the best ODI batsman at number 3 of all time, to open, or will they replace an opener with an opener?
Do they have an opener?
Yes.
Who?
Jaiswal.
Does Pakistan have an opener?
Yes.
Who?
Pakistan.
There we go.
Pakistan has.
Give me a name. Don't do this.
Giving you
Pakistan
names.
has. And
I'll
Pakistan
give you multiple
had.
names. Relax. Pakistan could have gone to Imam ul Haq. They could have gone to Hasibullah. They could have gone to Abdullah Shafiq. They could have gone to Chan Masood. There's multiple names. Mohammad Haris. So
Half these people have not played ODI cricket in the past 24 months.
And Babar Azam has never opened in ODIs.
Okay. Well, I agree with what you're saying, but I also understand the need of the hour and the need of your best batsman to step up.
Are you telling me Pakistan has no openers in the domestic circuit who can play at the international
That's not
level?
what I'm saying. I'm saying that Babar Azam opening on a flat track should have scored more than 10 runs off 23 deliveries. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that. I agree with you that if Saim Ayub is injured, you go for like, even if it has to be Imam ul Haq. Imam ul Haq has great numbers in Pakistan. If it's like that's the last resort, fine, Imam is in the team. But if Babar Azam steps up and is asked to open the batting, 23 balls and 10 runs is not what I expect. When
It's his
Fakhar
first.
Zaman on the other end is scoring after 6 months and hyperthyroidism, he's coming out and scoring 88 off 60 something. Your boy Babar Azam, whose Lahore is his kingdom,
He is playing out of his batting position. Fakhar Zaman is a genuine opener. He's comfortable opening. Babar Azam is not an opener. He has never opened in ODIs ever. So he's taking one for the team and opening for the sake of the team.
and getting off on mid wicket. Like, I know what you're trying to say, and I agree with you, but you cannot look at this Babar Azam performance and be like, oh, it's because he opened that he didn't score. This has been his case. He would have done the same thing at number 3. He would have scored 10 runs off 23 balls at number 3 as well. I bet you, however much money you want. Look, this is a Babar Azam problem, Bashar. This is not an opener chief selection problem, it might still be that as well. Both things can be true at the same time. But if Babar Azam was coming to score and open and a flat deck in Lahore under lights where the ball is even more crazier, LED China lights are all around the ground, GSL has just been inaugurated, and you come out and you give me 10 runs off 23 deliveries and you get the way he got out, yeah. Like any single format, take any format he gets out like that, you're going to be booing him. Soft dismissal, Bracewell, a little bit of a shuffle, mid-wicket, like how many times have we seen that, Bashar Sayyed?
Michael Bracewell has balled to Babar Azam 14 times and he has gotten him out 7 times.
He's made Michael Bracewell like it's Murli Dharan, man. Freaking hell, Babar Azam. Use your feet. Go back on a delivery. Go down the track. Slog.
Sweep
Do
shot.
something. Like it's. My frustration is audible and visible only because we've been here for so long. Man, yesterday I watched his 151 innings against Nepal. Different beast. I know it's also Nepal, but different beast altogether. Right? Different person. That innings was 2 years ago, Bashar. It's going to be 2 years in, I believe April or May. It's going to be 2 years since he scored a century in international cricket. What are we talking about here? Like, how many times can these Babar fans and these Babar fans go out on the internet and keep saying that he didn't get this, he didn't get that, this, that, or the other? Like in a game where England scored 800 in an innings, Babar Azam, check out a score in that game, in both innings. Like, it's absolutely undefendable at what is being done to him and what he's doing to himself. This man was supposed to be the answer of Pakistan cricket. For the past 24 years, the Pakistan cricket has been carrying him to the likes of Kiji coming in and like we've been there, we've seen the turmoil. I don't want to rehash what's been going on for the past 24 months, but the fact that this guy, the fan following he has, the GSL opening ceremony, you were there, but you saw it. The fans love Babar Azam. But the fact is that they're this close now to start booing him. And when that happens, it's tough to go back. And this was his best opportunity to go and give me a chasing century in a winning cause. Even if it wasn't a winning cause, a century by Babar Azam in a chasing cause brings him back. But Babar Azam continues to disappoint, man. Continues to fail. Mid-wicket catch, Mikhail was with me and I was swearing so loudly he got scared. Like that's how frustrated I was with Babar because I don't expect this from him, man. This run he's been given is insane. This season, Pakistan's played the most cricket they have in the past 6 months than they have in the past 24 months. It's been crazy. Cricket after cricket, match after match, tour after tour, and this guy has been failing every single time to the point where the chief selectors have to drop him against England at home. Imagine that. And it's just gonna get worse for him if he doesn't pick up his slack.
Shut up.
Let's move on, man. I'm gonna lose my temper.
I will say one thing. Babar Azam has been a flop for Pakistan in major tournaments since the 2022 Asia Cup. Has not stepped up in any major tournament since then. No match-winning knocks.
People forget that iconic Virat Kohli innings in 2022, Pakistan versus India in MCG, Babar Azam Golden Duck.
Golden Duck, yeah.
And it freaking reviewed that delivery.
And reviewed it, yeah. Lost
Insane.
the review.
So
I think this upcoming Champions Trophy will define Babar Azam.
If Babar Azam does not perform in this upcoming Champions Trophy, he is dropped from the national team for good. This is my hot take of the year. Babar Azam does not have match-winning knocks, and if Pakistan does not make it to the semis, and Babar Azam has like double-digit runs in 3 matches, out of the team.
I think they've already set it up. If Saim Ayub is fit, he'll just replace Babar Azam, and then KG will be at number 3.
They've set it up. This is like, when will Babar Azam realize that this is what's going on?
For the past 1 year, he has been playing on just his resume as Pakistan's best batter. He had a couple of good knocks in South Africa, I will say that, but just more consistency and more match-winning abilities.
Bro, Aqib Javed does not give a flying F who Babar Azam is. He dropped him in tests, he can drop him in ODIs, and he will drop him in T20s as well. And if he gets dropped by all 3 formats, do you think Babar Azam has the repertoire and the numbers behind him to go back into the Qadi Azam trophy and make his way back into the team?
I think so.
At the age of 32?
30.
Well, 30, but when he gets dropped, he'll be 31. And then will he be able to make it back to the 32, 33?
Well, when Babar Azam played the Champions Cup, I think he smashed a century, and then he smashed a 70. So domestically, he can still bully these bowlers.
Yeah, but then when you play on the same pitches, you get out for Michael Bracewell of 23 ball, 10 runs.
I think it's
under the power play. He had 1 shot of command in that entire innings. Like, what are we talking about here?
I think it's a mental block, and the sooner he gets over it, the better it will be for Pakistan. But I'm glad his fan club got that cover drive in one of the first.
Bro, his fan club is becoming really annoying because they're pulling at straws here to find ways to defend him, and it's getting really, really shameful. And honestly, if their fan club is a Pakistan cricket team loyalist, they will become the first people to give him a wake up call. I love Babar Azam. I almost named my son Babar. Like this is where we're at. I don't know if my wife knows this, but this is definitely something on the cards. So I love Babar to the point where, like, you know, Saim, I call him the second coming of Babar. Like there is a chain there, but he has to do himself some favors. We cannot blindly support him, especially if he's becoming detrimental to the Pakistani cricket team and the Pakistani cricket system.
Let's talk about one of the few positives of Pakistan in this match, which was Fakhar Zaman's return to Pakistan's ODI team. His first ODI match since the 2023 ODI World Cup. He comes in, scores 84 of 69 balls, smashes sixes, and looked like the only batsman in the Pakistan team who is able to play modern day cricket. And I can just imagine what a Fakhar and Saim opening combination could have done for Pakistan in this Champions Trophy and this Tri-Series.
It would have healed the nation, man.
I hope to live to see the day where Fakhar and Saim open together and just take on every bowling attack to the cleaners. I'm happy to see Fakhar back in form because him in big tournaments, he's clutch. He may not perform in every single match, but when he will perform, he'll take the game to one side. And if Pakistan had any chance of chasing this 330, it was on the backs of Fakhar's 84. Unfortunate not to have converted this to a century. He also wasted a review, and Glenn Phillips looked like he could do no wrong. Diving catches of Babar Azam, scoring centuries, getting Fakhar Zaman, the main batsman, out on off spin. So I hope Fakhar continues his form in the next few matches. He gets some more game time. Like you mentioned, he is getting recovered from hyperthyroid.
What even is that? Like
he had a lot of weight loss and like loss of appetite and
loss of muscle apparently as well.
Loss of muscle. Like when he told one of our friends that he didn't know why he was losing so much weight. and then went to the doctors and gets diagnosed. He was diagnosed 6 months late. So his rehab was late, his diagnosis was late, his treatment was late. But glad that he's finally been
Man,
diagnosed.
This Pakistan team with illnesses and injuries, man. Somebody take Nazar out of this team. Like, this is insane.
We need to take you out of the team. And Fakhar Zaman in ODIs has something extremely personal against New Zealand. He has 4 centuries against them, almost a 70 batting average, 96 batting strike rate. So Pakistan's opening game in Champions Trophy is against New Zealand. So I'm hoping that he also goes out there and smashes them there.
Where's Ish Soli? Just out of curiosity for Fakhar Zaman.
I'm not sure exactly.
Not chose. Is he in the squad for the?
I don't think I saw him. But New Zealand looks like they have their bases covered. And honestly, I want to say that they will be one of the teams who make it to the top 4 from Pakistan's group.
Wow.
Because if I look at their top order, Tom Latham, stable batsman, Will Young, kind of an aggressive player, Kane Williamson, the glue that holds everything together. And then they've got Daryl Mitchell, incredible spin hitter. They've got Mark Chapman, who's on the bench. Glenn Phillips, incredibly fit, 6 hitter. They've got Michael Bracewell, handy off spin, left-hand batsman.
Satner can bat.
Satner can bat. Is very, very handy with the ball. So I think New Zealand is going to be a underrated team. And I feel like it's going to be New Zealand or Pakistan who's going to go to the top 4. India will definitely make it.
Wow, really? Interesting. Yeah, I think we didn't really talk about some of the controversies in this game. We had 2 people getting injured and out of the game. One, a certain Rachin Ravindra, gets blinded by the ball. Sorry, gets blinded by the light, to quote Bruce Springsteen, and just gets one right in the face, man. Right in the forehead. Did you see that? What were your thoughts when you saw that?
I saw that. It was very concerning. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Like, did he lose the ball in the lights?
If you lose the ball in the lights, like, won't you like try to cover it and be like, I don't want to get hit in the face?
I've heard of players who played at the Dubai Sports Stadium that they lose the ball in the Ring of Fire at the Light Stadium there.
Fair enough.
That's also apparently what happened to Hassan Ali when he dropped Matthew Wade. So I think it's pretty common. White ball, white lights, when it goes in the air, you can lose it. I'm not sure if it's because of these new LED lights at the GSL, but it's quite painful because he went down straight away. There was blood pouring down.
Probably stitches. There was a laceration, right?
Yeah, he was taken off the field. And I think the news is that Devin Conway will replace him in the next match. So he's a very important figure for them in ODIs. He was handy left arm spin. He's a 1-down batsman. I think he's an opener for them, right?
Oh, he opens right now.
He opens. So I think they're going to need him in this Champions Trophy. So
yeah, it was extremely scary. I don't know how much the lights have to do with it, man. Like, I mean, lights are a problem in night match cricket all over the world. I was just very curious that if you lose the ball in the lights, the first thing you want to do is try to take cover. Maybe put your hand in front of your eyes to sort of gauge where the light is coming from. It was curious that he did none of that. He just stood there and took it right in the head. So I would love to hear what his thoughts were. Maybe he did actually lose it in the lights. But there were some fans, some trolls, I would say, that were trying to blame the new light setup in Lahore and trying to blame the PCB management for this, which is a farther stretch than I've ever heard of in my life. This happens all the time. Players lose the ball. This is an unfortunate incident where the ball, injured a player. But for the most part, this is part and parcel of the game. If you're playing under lights at night, there is a possibility that you will lose it in the sky. So wishing Ravindra a speedy recovery and hoping that he gets back in the game because he's a very exciting and young talent from New Zealand.
Going forward, what does Pakistan do in their ODI match against South Africa?
Drop half the team.
Haris Rauf has to be rested. So
Haris is resting.
Who comes in for him? Do you bring in Hasnain as the same like for like pace option, or do you bring in Fahim Ashraf who gives you decent middle overs and some batting depth towards the end?
You bring in a spinner.
So you bring in a spinner for a express pace bowler.
Yes.
And who is a spinner?
Sufi.
He's not in the squad.
He's going to be in the squad.
Well, he's not in the squad.
He has to be pulled into the squad because there's no other way.
Well, they're not pulling him into the squad.
We don't know that.
Well, the game is 2 days away.
Yeah, but this stuff can be announced all like as close as possible.
So you're saying they're gonna have Sufyan Wakim fly in overnight?
Fly in? He's in Lahore already. Have these people already?
The game is in Karachi.
Wherever he is, there's gonna be. My point is that Haris Rauf is injured. This is a great opportunity to try 2 spinners, 2 fast bowlers, and Khurshid Shah out Fahim Ashraf in.
I think you need at least 3 pacers.
Fahim Ashraf, Naseem Shah, and Shaheen Shah Afridi.
You said replace Haris Rauf with Sufyan Nakeem.
Yeah. And replace Fahim Ashraf with Khusdal.
Oh, Khusdal with Fahim Ashraf.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, you get a full-time spinner in for Haris, and then you take Khusdal out, who did exactly what he was supposed to do, which is absolutely nothing, and probably cost the game for Pakistan. And you put Fahim Ashraf in. So you got 3 fast bowlers, you got two genuine spinners, in Abrar and a spinner number 2, who shall be renamed, unnamed, could be whoever it is, and then you got Abul Salman Ali Agha to get in a 6th bowling option. That's more of a balanced team.
That's not bad, actually. That's not bad.
Thank you. Because this is what's going to happen anyways in the Champions Trophy, is that they're going to get Haris Rauf, Fahim Ashraf, and Shaheen Shah Afridi to play. They're going to rest Naseem, and they're going to get 2 spinners in. And that's probably a better winning combination than whatever they put out in front of New Zealand right now. This was such, in order to, we mentioned this in that previous episode where we discussed the squad, in order to cover their bases, Pakistan lost the plot and everything. Right? Number 8 is Shaheen Shah Afridi, man. Firstly, he should be 9. Naseem should be batting above him, just to be fair. Abrar Ahmed is coming out and outscoring your top 5-6 batsmen.
Blistering cameo.
153 strike rate, by the way. Lovely to see. There is something categorically wrong with this. Khusdal Shah was sent in at number 6 or number 7 to be your strike finishing batsman. He scored 15 off 18.
The way he got out was embarrassing.
Embarrassing. It's not personal with Khusdal, but this is not the way that you're going to be playing in the Pakistan squad. And this is exactly the way he was dropped in the first place. So, I have massive question marks at the chief selectors as opposed to these guys.
We tried to reach out to one of them, and the response I got was that they're extremely busy. I wonder why they're busy, because the squad's already announced. So what are you working on currently? But yeah, hopefully if you get an opportunity.
They know backward point asks the hard questions.
We want to be talking to them, get them on camera, record this stuff, and ask them the burning questions that the fans want to know.
Man, it's tough, man. It's tough.
Do you continue to get Babar at the opening slot, or do you push him? Do you put him at 3? But then you don't have a backup opener right now in the squad.
For this series, you back Babar to open. My worry for this Pakistan team was that they might not even play 3 games in this series. Might be a South Africa New Zealand final, because the way that they dropped the ball in this,
absolutely,
it's the 72 runs they lost by. It's 1.5 net run rate average. If New Zealand don't absolutely smash South Africa out of the park, you're kind of out of the game.
I hope New Zealand does smash them, because they only have 11 players, South Africa. Yeah. So hopefully if somebody,
South Africa's playing
if somebody gets hit in the head due to the lights and South African team, they might need their coach or their physio to go into fields with them.
You never know. I just think that might be the saving grace for Pakistan to make it to the finals of this Tri-Series. I wish Pakistan is able to play 3 games, and 3 games means that Babar has 2 more opportunities to at least get some runs in the opening slot. I don't think batting in Lahore or in Karachi under these conditions, at the tail end of winter, is tough. It's not as bad as Pakistan is making it look. New Zealand was right there, scored 330. It's just stay in there, get your patience in, and score those runs. Babar is used to taking singles and doubles in the middle because he comes at number 3. And you don't get that when you're batting in the power play. But you do get opportunities of scoring 4s and 6s. And as a T20 opener, Babar should know that. Babar should know how to capitalize a 15-over power play.
In order to hit boundaries in the first power play, you need guys who can take risks, guys who can hit aerial shots. You look at Travis Head in the Australian team, Phil Salt in the England team, Rohit Sharma in the Indian team. These guys play risky cricket. They play attacking shots. They hit over the top. I don't think Babar has that sort of a game, which is why he tries to hit grounded shots.
He opens in the T20s.
Bro, he has his Babar Azam's strike rate is below 100 in the power play in T20 World Cups. Don't even get me started. Babar Azam T20s, don't even get me started. Just because he opens in T20s doesn't mean shit. I think his power play strike rate is 117. I have this whole thread on Twitter.
I would take that for ODIs from Babar.
Don't mix formats.
I'm just saying.
Don't mix formats.
I'm just saying. Man,
I want to see Souchak in the middle order.
I want to see Souchak in. Give me your 11 for South Africa. How about that? Let's finish on that. I wanted something positive coming out of this. We've been talking for 45 minutes.
The problem is,
all I'm feeling is frustration.
I want positives too, but I want to get Babar Azam to bat at number 3, but there's no backup openers in the squad. So who do I replace the Babar Azam with?
Versatility. That's what Shafiq said so.
So again, someone who has never opened in List A cricket or ODIs. So I want to rip my hair out. This is so frustrating. I think what Pakistan needs is just replace an opener with an opener. Even if you have to, I say this, even if you have to get Imam ul-Haq back, maybe get him back. I don't know. But,
His runs in Pakistan
but just
are
replace
amazing.
an opener with an opener.
Give me your 11. Let's round it off.
The 11 that I want, or the 11
Yeah.
that's gonna be
The 11
the
that you would pick for within the squad, because I also picked Sufyan, who's not in the squad. Within the squad, 11 for South Africa. Let's go. Fakhar and Saud. Babar.
I don't like Saud opening either.
Who do you want? They don't have an opener in the squad. Usman Khan?
Usman Khan could open, correct? But
Do you want this guy near the Pakistan team?
No, I don't think he's international material.
There we go. What do we do? Oh man, what do we do?
Pick a better squad. That's the starting point.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's say if they're persisting with Babar to open, which they will persist with Babar because it's just one match, right? So Fakhar and Babar to open. I'm gonna go one down. So Shakil.
Wow. Okay.
2 down is 1. 3 down. Kamar Ghulam played a very handy knock in South Africa. 60 off 30 balls.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was the second ODI.
Yeah.
And he played that sort of finisher role. So KG at 5, Salman Agha, and
Fahim?
Sure. Fahim? I think we need Khurzdil. Because you need
Khurzdil and Fahim. You play them both. Fahim
so
comes in for Haris.
Khurzdil stays, and then you get Fahim Ashraf instead of Haris Rauf, and then Shaheen, Naseem, Abrar.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah?
Probably.
Sounds
But
good.
that's what
Sounds
I
good. I mean, just with the
It
available
does not
options
sound
you
good. It
have,
sounds horrible.
with the available
With the-
options you
yes.
have, this might be it.
With the options you have, this is probably the best you get. But the options you've chosen for yourself are horrid.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrid.
Honestly, I want to pick Hasnain over Fahim just because Hasnain is looking in good ODI form.
And again,
And then
no
he'll
batting
he'll
depth
also just cover for the fact that Pakistan doesn't have any express pace bowlers who ball 145 plus.
what does Fahim do?
Fahim is like 130, 135 max.
Hasnain is
He's
not
more of a
145 plus.
container. Hasnain
Used to
is
be
quick.
145 plus, but I don't think he's anymore.
He's still consistently 140.
140, yeah.
Again, yeah, if you play Hasnain, then you lose the batting depth that Fahim gives, but also then Fahim has a 10 batting average. So statistically, he'll give you 10 runs, which right now, Abrar Ahmed is
He's doing more than that. Wow.
Holy cow.
Man, it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating, especially because we've already bought the big tickets and Pakistani tickets. They can't even return them.
Nuke this whole Pakistan ODI team.
Nuke it.
Let's
Nuke
start from scratch.
Yes, Saim Ayub living his best life hanging out with Hani Amir. And we're out here pulling our hair trying to figure out who's going to open for Pakistan. You know, the joke's on us. You know that, right? The joke is on us. Saim Ayub, Johari boy hanging out with Hani Amir, and us Johari boys trying to figure out how to make this Pakistan team win.
He made it.
He made it.
By the way, people often comment that we're burgers and we're this and that. Dude, we are from Gulistan and Johor, Karachi.
Yeah.
We are as mela as it gets.
We can show that part, but we don't do that on camera.
And people think, oh, we have these accents while speaking English. You should hear us speaking Urdu.
Yeah, you should. One day, a Patreon exclusive. Thank you guys for tuning in. I mean, there's what more to say. We've got somehow found 49 minutes to riff on this team. It's gonna be a tough few weeks, guys. Honestly, if this Pakistan team does not get their act together, we're gonna try our best to enjoy it because Dubai, even if not for the cricket, is well known for other stuff. So we're gonna enjoy our time there. No worries. We're gonna meet a lot of you guys. That's for sure. Definitely a backward point meetup planning for Dubai. Hopefully we're going to see a lot of fans, not just Pakistani fans, but Indian fans and Bangladeshi fans and the whole works. We're very excited about that. Keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for the backward point merch that we're going to be announcing very soon. Thank you again for the Patreon members. Thank you again for the Patreon producers. Thank you to Yashi Sports. Thank you for you, Bashar Sayed, tuning in and enduring this pain with me. We'll see you guys all in the next episode. Hopefully with some more good news. As it stands, take care of yourselves and cheers.
Bye.